Security of lives and property of citizens are one of the fundamentals of governance and is often top on any government scale of preference. Now, recently, cases of kidnapping and banditry in parts of Nigeria has remained worrisome, especially in the northwest region, where security operatives have launched crackdown on criminal elements. Now, these and other security stories are what we are going to be treating on this edition of Crime Watch. My name is Ivy Kano, but first, let's have the crime news.
The pictures you are seeing might be disturbing. A man identified as Deji Adenuga has allegedly set ablaze 8 family members of his estranged girlfriend. The incident happened at Adetuwa Street, Igbodigo town in Okitipupa local government area of Ondo State. Mr. Adenuga was said to be dating a girl in the family identified as Titi, but she later called off the relationship.
Former girlfriend refused to go ahead with the love affairs between them, and that infuriated this Deji Adenuga. And what he thought he could do to take his own pound of flesh from the lady was to go to their house and set ablaze the entire household. I want to say that we are looking for him seriously. We are looking for him, and we want to use the opportunity to tell the members of the public who could give us any information about his whereabouts.
The Nigerian that was killed by gunmen at Kajuru Castle, a tourist resort in Kaduna State, has been identified. Police say he is Matthew Danjuma Oguche, a staff of an NGO, International Safety Organization. He was killed with a British worker of another NGO, Mercy Corps. Before his death, the 2015 graduate of Landmark University was involved in the delivery of personal safety and hostile environment awareness courses to NGOs. The Inspector General of Police has ordered the immediate arrest and prosecution of all persons involved in an attack on police officers in Cross River State. The 4 police officers attached to the IGP's Intelligence Response Team unit were injured with deep machete cuts on their heads and other parts of their bodies. The detectives are investigating a case of a stolen vehicle earlier reported by a Pentecostal church based in Lagos. The suspects, who were linked to the crime by police investigation, confessed to stealing the vehicle but sold the vehicle to another criminal in Benue State. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has trained 4,395 officers of the Corps on the handling of arms. The Nasarawa State Commandant of the Corps, Mahmoud Fari, disclosed this during the passing out parade of the officers in Lafia. The Lagos State Police Command has reassured Lagos residents of improved security of lives and property. The State Commissioner of Police, Zubairu Muazu, made this known while addressing newsmen at the command headquarters in Ikeja. He says the State Police Command has come up with new strategies in preventing and combating crime in the state.
The State Police Command have evolved new strategies in preventing and combating crimes in the state that is aimed at reassuring the people of their safety. Our deployments are targeted towards combating traffic robbery and easing the free flow of traffic across the state. Our tactical units are repositioned for intelligence-driven approach to tackling the menace of kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, and gangsterism. Our rapid response squads, equipped with the state-of-art facilities, is more than ever ready to promptly and effectively respond to distress calls and emergencies in any part of Lagos State.
Our first big story expands the growing concern of kidnapping in parts of Nigeria. Details in this report.
The Abuja-Kaduna road has become a nightmare for travelers due to the activities of kidnappers hiding out in various camps in forests stretching from Kaduna to Zamfara State. The ongoing crackdown by the troops of the Nigerian Army and the Air Force has forced the kidnappers to flee towards Abuja, increasing the incidence of kidnapping in the nation's capital, particularly in the outskirts. The police are carrying out patrols on flashpoints under a special operation tagged Puff Adder. We joined the police patrol to some of the flashpoints. The almost 2-hour journey took us to Abattoir New Extension in Abaji Area Council. We gathered that the kidnappers take advantage of the receding river for their getaway.
Where we're standing now is called the Abattoir Riverside. You see, from the area we traversed to this place, you could see that you have this long riverside. So the hoodlums come in, they cross the river, they come here, they commit, and what we have described is that they will come to Abaji, kidnap people from Abaji, and then take them across this place into the forest. So it has become a difficult thing for us to do. And that is why we have positioned our men here now, so that we can take care of that. And there are other places we shall also take you to. You see how we position our men, and both day and night we do intensive patrol, so that apart from warding off the criminals, anyone that stubbornly strays into our net will be caught and be brought before the law court.
The villagers are wary of speaking with us, but we gathered that the kidnappers often take their victims through these farmlands on a tortuous journey to the hills. From Abaji, we head for Gwagwalada Area Council. Kasuandere is another kidnap flashpoint.
Criminals often coming from this other side of the village cross the river to this side, commit atrocities, including taking hostages, and cross back and make their way out of town.
Especially at night, has been, you can see that with the 2 rains, the river is flowing a little bit now. But you can, if you take a look at over there, see the children swimming. So it's an easy access road. People usually cross. So the miscreants usually cross from that side to this side, especially at night. Sometimes the Aguma will call saying, yeah, some people have just passed, suspicious people. And then we keep on getting calls from this area that they are under attack. So that's why we decided to place these men strategically to check the inflow of these miscreants. Because at least we know their entry and exit points now. So it's easy for us to monitor and actually deal with them. And that's what we're doing now.
Stemming the tide of kidnapping is an enormous task for the police.
We are not thinking of even scaring them away. Let them come and be taken out of society. If you scare them away, they go to other areas to go and perpetrate the same crime. Rather, we pick them up, put them where they belong. That's why we call it Operation Puff Adder. You swallow them, digest them, then use them to manure the place. So that's it.
The security challenges facing the country top the agenda at a meeting by the Acting Inspector General of Police and senior officers.
Our records point to a significant rise in crime following the conclusion of the general elections. While some security experts have attributed the trend to the disengagement of the criminal elements from politically related activities which they might have been engaged during the elections, others have attributed the trend to socio-economic factors. The primary and statutory duties of the Nigeria Police as the lead agency in internal security framework is the prevention and detection of crime and maintenance of our internal security order.
The police authorities say they are recording successes in the special operation. But these gains will only be meaningful if kidnapping is reduced to its ebb.
Hello and welcome to this interview segment of Crime Watch. Today we'll be discussing armed banditry and other criminal activities, especially in the northwest region of Nigeria. And joining me to do justice to this is Dixon Osajie. He is a security consultant.
Thank you. Nice being here.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot right away. Now, why suddenly the upsurge in this, especially in the north?
Well, it's quite regrettable because Nigeria is driving in a state of high insecurity. Our military are still trying to contend with the Boko Haram insurgents and the ISWAP as well, and the Banditry is already taking shape. We have to relax, take a very good breath, and go back to the drawing board, because we are not getting it right this time around. But first of all, we need to first look at our national borders, because that is where the threat is coming from. I remember an ex-celebrity armed robber, who is now a pastor, said it very clear, and I quote, he says, the reason why he was successful in his robbery days was the porosity of our borders. And that is to say that our borders are extremely very and extremely vulnerable. When you look at the northeast, for example, we are bordered by Chad Republic on a distance of about 87 kilometers. When you look at the north, we are bordered by Niger Republic on a distance of about 1,470 kilometers. And when you go to the southeast, we are bordered by Cameroon on a distance of about 1,690 kilometers. And when you come here to Benin Republic, here in Lagos, we are bordered by Benin on a distance of about 773 kilometers. Then when you go to the coast as well, we are bordered by the coast of Guinea on a distance of about 853 kilometers. Now, these nations that surround us are all Francophone speaking countries. Yeah. Nigeria is the only Anglophone speaking country. That alone is a geographical threat. It's a natural threat on its own. Now, let's take ourselves from that border security. The emergence of the banditry in Zamfara, the north is a playing ground and a very wide territory. I was happened to grew up in the north. I was born in Maiduguri. I grew up in Sokoto State, and then Zamfara was formerly in Sokoto State. It was cut out from Sokoto, inclusive Kebbi State. So there was a form of dereliction of duty from the leadership of Zamfara. In the sense that when this incident started in 2001, it started like a herders and farmers clashes. And there was no attention, They didn't pay more attention to that. When you arrest any bandits, what happened is that they are quick to charge them to court, and their lawyers are quick to come and bail them out, and these bandits will go back to the informants that inform the police or the security agency about their activities, and they will maim these people. So the community began to lose trust on the security agency. You know, when it comes to security, for you to have an effective security, there's what we call community trust building. If you don't have community trust, the security agency and the community, you will not excel. That's the truth.
Yeah, I think that's why the police are, now they are preaching community policing. Do you think that could help?
Well, they are preaching community policing. I think that could help, but we need to grow to an extent whereby we'll be able to manage that community policing, because when we have to go into community policing, state governors will mismanage that opportunity, and we'll have a situation whereby the head of the community policing will have to report to the state governor. So, as it stands now, all heads of security parastatals reports to the presidency, and that for now, let's just keep that.
Yeah, you were talking about losing trust. Yeah. The community losing trust. Yeah. On the security agents. Okay. Let's get back to that.
All right, now, looking at the community losing trust on the security agency, in the sense that most of the guys that are arrested, once they have been arrested, they charge them to court, and when you charge them to court, they are quick to be bailed. And before you know it, they'll come back to the society. They'll look for the XYZ who gave the security agency the information about them, because there are one or two sabotage taking place in the security agency, and that is just the truth. But we will get better. We will get better. Now, looking at Zamfara, for instance, being a case study, over 3,000 lives, not human lives now, not animal lives. Over 3,000 human lives. You know, when you line up 3,000 people from here, it will take you to a very long distance. And that is to tell you that the value of human life here in our country is dissipating, and we need to contend with such issue. 3,000 lives have been killed. Over 2,000 children have been displaced. Over 500 kidnappings has taken place in between this period of time. And when you look at it as well, from 2011 when it started till now, the state government have spent over 17 billion naira in containing such issues. They've given out about 3,000 cars to the security agencies, yet there are no results. Now, the reason why we are not getting results is that some people are not brought to book and are not being held accountable, because we fail to understand that human lives are irreplaceable. Until we begin to put value to human lives, then we'll begin to get things very right. I used to be on that notion, like most of us that travel abroad, you discover that for a country to be stable, the security agencies will have to be held accountable. Any country that you see excelling today, like American, United Kingdom, Spain, France, go and check the security agency. Because if the security agency are doing the right thing at the right time, without paying lip services, without yes sir syndrome, and they are contending with all these criminal acts, Nigeria is going to be a better place. If I would suggest, I want to see a situation where our security agency or our security leaders should have that power of autonomy, in the sense that you don't have to wait for the C&C, or the president, or the governor, or whoever the case may be, before you carry out your own actions. Most people are scared. Some people believe that if they carry out 1 or 2 actions, they could be retired from service. You saw what transpired in Kano election. The commissioner of police, we all understand the guy did very well, and all of a sudden they brought in other superior officers to come and contend with such issues. That on its side is demoralizing. Now, coming back to this banditry, we need to first of all secure our borders, because from Zamfara state you can connect to Niger Republic. And most of these guys that are coming in, because we look at banditry are people who commit robbery act in a state where there is no law.
Do you think there's a political undertone to all this?
There is no crime, or any crime that exceeds 24 hours or 72 hours. There's a political undertone, because if there is not political undertone, it takes a lot of money to fund crime. Getting arms and ammunition takes a lot of fund. Getting anti-aircraft, getting missiles takes a lot of fund. So the action taken by the presidency in expelling the legal and non-legal, illegal miners in Zamfara state is a welcome development. That's what we call crime prevention through environmental design. Now, they've taken over the territory, because they need to exhibit what we call territorial behavior. If they exhibit that territorial behavior, Zamfara will be in a very peaceful state. So that action the presidency took was a welcome development, so that they will be able to carry out either constructive security application or destructive security applications.
Do you think the security agencies need to synergize? Now, if the hotspots now is northwest, do you think they need to synergize and storm that particular place? Now, you know, you could also have a problem while you're facing that the other part of the country could be burning security-wise. So do you think they need to synergize and term what is happening there?
If you look at the crime scenario or the crime state, it's looking like a form of geographical design. You know, when you go to some part of the country, kidnapping is imminent there. Go to some part of the country, insurgency. Go to some part of the country, rape. Go to some part of the country, banditry. Now, when you talk about synergy, by default, every established nation should synergize all the security agency. But the problem we're having in this part of our own country is that everybody want to hold back is information. Nobody want to share information. And we don't have a central database whereby information will be shared. You understand? So for me, I would like to advise the government. They should look at bringing all the security agency down. You know, bring them to a box. You know, establish an agency or establish a center in which information can be disseminated. Because right now, like an incident happened of recent, the banditry last week says that before the Air Force take off from the base to come and bomb them, they got the information. How do they get this information? So the information management process in our country is highly highly vulnerable. We are vulnerable to that because we need to really look at it very extensively, manage our information very extensively, carry out our actions very extensively. Like if you look at how the Americans operated in the arrest of Osama bin Laden, they managed the information in the sense that nobody knew that they were telling this guy for years. The world knew they are searching for Osama, but when they got the area of concentration where he's reside, they close up that information. They manage that information. Are you with me? So we should have a situation where our security agencies should first of all remember something, that they are serving a 180 Nigerians. Because whenever you are in power, don't look at whoever you are allegiance to. You have to look at the people. The people come first in every given society. So we have to look at the people. When you look at the people, you have fear of command. When you look at the people, you have to ensure that you govern those people with fear of God. Because the problem we're having is these days is that everybody just come to take position, do what you want to do and get out, and nobody's holding them accountable. So the government should also set an agency whereby when you leave office, I'm talking about security agencies now. When you leave office, you should be able to go back to an agency and report yourself and the activities and what you have done so far in your period of time in the office, so that we'll start holding people accountable in office. If you lost 2 men while you were in the commander, you need to inform the agency why those men died in action. So when we start holding people accountable, the security apparatus will begin to take shape.
Thank you very much, Osagie.
Thank you.
Now, Crime Watch continues in a moment. Before takeoff, the leader of the team briefed the men on rules of engagement, especially handling of firearms.
You know when to use your firearm. Oh yes. You know the rule of engagement. Yes, sir. First order 2, 7.
As the convoy moved from Oshodi, the next stop was the notorious Akala area in Mushin. And on sighting the team, some of the boys took to their heels. Not until they were addressed were they convinced that the august visitors meant well.
I don't want to hear any attack on any policeman. I don't want to hear any robbery in this area. I don't want to hear anybody stealing phones or anything.
From Akala, Shita in Surulere was the next stop for the team.
Talk to all residents. Yes. All the is our leader. You understand? I come here, there's any problem, I will strike again. Thank you very much. God bless. Thank you, sir. God bless.
Though it was meant to be a simple show of force, the enforcement officers couldn't bear to see some illegal activities, especially selling at government-prohibited areas.
Well, at some point during the enforcement team stopped at the popular Tejo market. Now, they broke some shanties that were located right by the railway setback.
Oyimbo Market witnessed same treatment for some who had their wares displayed at the bus terminal. Chairman Task Force spoke on behalf of other agencies on why some particular areas were targeted.
We have 2-in-1 operations now, let's say 3-in-1. The traffic discongestion, we have this nuisance constituted by the street traders and the criminal hideouts. We've been to Akala and Shita. Now we've been to Yaba. Akala and Shita is those ones into drug peddling. And Oyingbo, Yaba is, you can see that those 2 places are for street traders, which constitute gridlock equally. And we have to make Lagos State free. And apart from that, this issue of gridlock in Lagos State is just simple. There's nothing apart from these street traders. Anywhere you have street traders, people want to park, they want to buy. And what does that constitute? Gridlock. And that's it. So we've served them notices that they should vacate. I've done my advocacy, I move out with my advocacy. Now it's enforcement. I will tell you, Lagos State advocacy has been on and on. For the past 3 years I've been here, we've been talking. Before the election, we lower our enforcement. Now we are back. I've told them for almost 2 months. Immediately after the election, I told them, please, it's not going to be business as usual. Everybody go back. That's the market. I don't know what they are doing outside. You can see that it is not only task force here. You have the LAGES, that's the Lagos State Environmental Safety Corps. You have the neighborhood safety, Lagos State Neighborhood Corps. Then we have the mobile courts. Ours is to enforce. I guess they will sustain. They will be here permanently, till forever.
We needed to know what will happen to the seized items from traders.
You know, these are perishable goods. From here, we'll take them to our office. The courts, they'll pronounce that they should be confiscated. And since they are perishable goods, we'll have to take them to motherless homes and remand homes. That's what, sometimes prisons. That's what we do regularly.
Other areas visited included Ojueleba, Lagos Island, and Mile 12, where an officer of the Lagos State Task Force was attacked some weeks back, which led to his death. Before we end the show, let's leave you with some security tips. With that, we've come to the end of this edition of Crime Watch. Remember to send your comments coming to crimewatch@tvcnews.tv. You can also tweet at me at @IvyKano. Do have a crime-free week.